Hi, I'm Dale Holliday coming to you from Corvallis, Oregon in the bountiful Willamette Valley. Welcome to my show, Valley Views, a forum for sharing relevant topics relating to people and issues in the Willamette region. Hey, folks. Hey, this is my 1 year and 1 month and a few days anniversary show with Valley Views on KBOO Radio. Woo! On today's show, I'll talk about what it's been like to host a show this past year, along with other observations and opinions I'd like to share. Now, I'd like to first talk about how I discovered KBOO and why I like it. In 2013, I moved to Corvallis from Washington State's the North Olympic Peninsula. It was a move done in stages using multiple car trips over a period of time. The trip usually took 8 hours each way because I do the speed limit and I stop at just about every rest stop to stretch my legs, give my eyes a break, and pry my fingers off the steering wheel that I tend to grip while I'm driving on I-5. During those trips, I tried to avoid Portland commuter traffic, which is pretty much around the clock. So I'd leave the peninsula around 5 a.m. in order to hit the Portland greater metro area around 10-ish or 11-ish. Despite my efforts, I'd often find myself in a traffic jam, delayed and just crawling. I discovered KBOO during one of these trips, and it saved my sanity while sitting in traffic, especially during those broiling summer days of heat and roadway glare. I loved tuning into KBOO. The hosts sound like real people, not some slick media types. And they talk about issues that matter to me in real voices, expressing emotion and passion. I thought how fun it would be to be part of KBOO broadcast, but I didn't actively pursue that notion at the time. I had lots of things on my plate already. Plus, I lived in Corvallis and didn't quite know how that could work to do a show based in Portland. But as luck or fate would have it, in the summer of 2017, I happened to be listening to KBOO one evening when the new development person named Becky expressed her interest in doing a listener tour in both Corvallis and in Hood River. She was brand new to the area, had never been to Corvallis, and knew of no place to hold such a meeting. My husband, Max, said, "You should call her." I agreed, so I did, immediately. Max and I told Becky that we'd find a place for her Corvallis listening tour, although at the time we had no idea where that would be. But we followed through, because that's the kind of people we are. We get things done to try and build community. Not bragging, not grandstanding, just the fact. Anyway, about 25 folks showed up for that meeting, and someone, not me, suggested that KBOO should do a show about the Willamette Valley. Becky took that idea back to KBOO, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, everyone who had attended that listening meeting was sent an email asking if they'd like to create a Willamette Valley-based show. So guess what? I was the only one who stepped up, or even responded, so the show was mine. So how does this magic happen? Well, in September 2017, I began learning how to create my KBOO show, Valley Views. My first show aired on Friday, November 3rd, 2017. I utilized local cable access equipment to record and edit the interviews. Chad Howard there has been very helpful in getting me hooked up with the equipment, and he's provided technical support from time to time. Erin at KBOO was kind enough to show me how to edit a show and put it to music. Now, it took me about 2 seconds to say that. Edit a show and put it to music. I'm telling you, it took me about 5 months to really learn it and do it on my own. My first editing job that I did all the way through, from recording to editing to putting it with music, took me more than 4 hours. Yes, over 4 hours for a 15-minute show. It entailed many mistakes, missteps, oh my gods, oh no's, words I can't use on the air, and from time to time, just sitting down with my head between my hands to keep it from exploding. Erin helped with editing and putting the show to music and calming my nerves while I learned the process in those 5 months before I was able to master it on my own. Other KBOO staff stepped up too. Derek uploaded at least my first 2 or 3 program descriptions to the website for me, and he even provided some graphics for the shows until I was schooled in where to find public domain pictures that I could use. And that was extremely helpful. Jenka, a website guru, helped me with missteps and glitches I had during my learning curve of getting my show description and graphics uploaded to the KBOO website. That, in a nutshell, is how the magic happens. Now I'm going to take a little step back to something I said earlier. I'd like to unpack it, as they say. What I said a few minutes ago when I referred to the refreshing, real voices of KBOO show hosts, and why I like the tone of it. That's my naked, unapologetic dig at NPR that I have not been able to stomach for many, many months now. Why? Due to the many cutesy stories, the fluff feel-good pieces, and the dreaded TED Talks. I hate TED Talks. And if you hear my kitty cat in the distance, he hates TED Talks too. Frankly, I've never heard a TED Talk that was more relevant or wiser than any common sense wisdom that I heard from just about every elder I knew growing up. In fact, the TED Talks don't even come anywhere close to that wisdom. And why are TED Talks predominantly voices from white males? Well, that's a rhetorical question, folks. I know that answer. And if you don't, I really don't have time or the desire to try and educate you in these next few minutes. And I have a problem with the voices and tone of the NPR host. To me, they sound abnormally measured and muted, like they're on Thorazine, or I guess, Valium or something like that. Don't get too excited. Don't show emotion or passion. White women and white men with those soft, I'm telling you a bedtime story to soothe you to sleep voices. They're so non-offensive. It gives me the creeps. It's a tone used by the privileged. That what me worry, what me hurry, casual tone of the comfortably retired, or those with the connections that provide a substantial social safety network, assuring that they will never be out of work or take a job below their social status. Individuals are losing, perhaps already lost, the ability to speak with passion in these good old United States for fear of being accused of being hostile, aggressive, and dangerous, or at the very least, uppity, a label that comes with its own list of burdens. I'm a black woman. My brothers and sisters like to express ourselves. The artificial attempt to keep expression flatlined has the effect of us more lively types of not being heard and being accused of being angry when we're not. I don't care for that. And actually, it's not just black folks. I mean, I'll talk about black folks because I'm a black woman, but it's not just black folks who have expressive ways of communicating. My Portuguese and Italian friends back in the northeast of this country fall into the same category. Communicating and expressive, colorful language and tone. You know, people who are alive and unafraid to share opinion and display emotion. So I'd like to conclude now to say that, I need to find some way to end this episode. I'll give a thank you to my audience members who have tuned in over this past year, and to those who have emailed me with your impressions, thoughts, and stories. I'm happy and proud to be a part of the KBOO family since fall of 2017. And I look forward to joining you again next week when I plan to talk about possible format changes that I'm considering, along with the various transitions that have occurred in my life over this past year that have resulted in my reassessment of aspects of the political and cultural nature of the Willamette Valley. Where do I go from here? Well, this is an ever-evolving adventure, so I guess you'll have to stay tuned. Thanks for joining me, folks. You've been listening to Valley Views. I'm your host, Dale Holliday, and I'd love to hear from you. Comments, questions, ideas for future topics, or other matters you would like explored. Email me at valleyviews@kboo.org. That's VALLEYVIEWS@kboo.org. Special thanks to Chad Howard from Corvallis Access Media for his technical assistance and support. I look forward to being with you again next time. And remember, as Doctor Who once said, I'm not in charge, but I'm full of ideas. Bye!